Hi everyone, it's Mel from My Paper Oasis. I thought I'd pop by today and show you all how to make a card that is on trend at the moment. It's called a twist and pop card or a pop-up panel card. They are super cool cards that I have seen a video of a lady who showed how to do this, and I will pop the link on my blog because I actually can't remember her name right now. But hers cards were 6x12, and I wanted something, of course, that you can post in the mail because that's my favorite kind of card. So I created this one and just adjusted the measurements. The inside workings are still the same as what she's created, but this one is just more a regular size that you can post in the card in the mail. So they open like so, and I hope you can see all that. Pops up so that you can see all the panels, and it's like lots of fun. I love these kinds of cards. I love cards with a little bit of extra special something, and then they just fold back in on each other, and I've made a couple of those cards as well. So I'm going to show you another one that I need to make for a 13th birthday, which I think is pretty special. So we're going to get along and do that now. I will have all the measurements for this card on my blog. So if you, there'll be a link down underneath that you can click on to go see the card. So what you're going to need is a card base. So I've chosen Tempting Turquoise for this. I'm doing the 13th birthday card. Now my card base is 4 1/8, so it's simply an A4 piece of card cut in half down here. So it's the length of the card by 4 1/8 inch this way. So you need one of those, and you're just going to do the regular thing. You're going to fold it in half and burnish your card. Now the one thing with these cards is you need to make sure that you are burnishing them really quite well. Because of all the different folds. So just burnish your card and set that one aside for the moment. We also need a piece of cardstock. Now I'm doing an alternating colour that is 10 inches long by 3.5 inches wide. Now you're going to turn this on the long side, and you are going to score this piece at 2.5, 5 and 7.5 inches. Then what we need to do is concertina fold this. So we're going to concertina it. So the mountain fold is in the middle. So start with a valley fold, mountain fold and valley fold. And you need to really burnish those well. Okay, so give them a really good burnish on both sides. Maybe, oops, sorry, wobble the camera. Maybe flip it over and do it again. And then this is what you're left with, is your little concertina card, and we're going to decorate that in a moment. The other piece of card that you need is an 8-inch card by 3.5 inches. Now this is the one that we're going to be doing a few scores on, and this is the card that makes your mechanism fold. So I'm going to just use my score and cut tool here, and we need to score it on the short side at 1 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to lay that up at the 1 3/4 inches mark. Make sure that my cutting blade is well out the way, and I'm just going to score that down at 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so that's scored. Now the other thing that you need to do is you need to turn it on the long side, and you can either pencil a mark, or what I do is just use the little I either use my scoreboard or use this and use the scoring tool. You need to score it at 2 1/4 inches, and you need to do that in the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to pop a little score mark there and a little score mark there. You probably won't be able to see that on camera, but trust me, that's what I'm doing. And then at 5 3/4 inches, so slide your card up to 5 3/4 inches and just do the same, a little score mark at each end. So I'm not sure, can you see those score marks? So what you need to do now is we need to actually make a diagonal score mark between those. So on your score tool again, line up the top part of this score mark and the bottom of this score mark here. So not right in, but just the edge of it, so you know where it is. Just line it up on your score tool and then just score. Okay, so you can see the X that it's put there. And then you're going to do it on this side as well. So line up that score mark with your cutting tool, and then line up that score mark right in the groove here, because that's where the score tool goes, and again score that down. And then we're just going to pop that aside. So what you can see that we're left with is this score line here and this X in the middle. So what we're going to do is burnish this on these folds. So you're going to fold over and really burnish this well, because remember I said this is your mechanism for folding. So burnish this in half, and then you're going to burnish it on those diagonal folds. So fold it over, burnish it well, and then fold it over and burnish it again. So what you're left with is this piece that has all the score marks really well burnished. Now this we need to turn into a little, what is called a house shape, I guess. So what you're going to do for this is pick it up. The best way I found to do it is actually put your hands on each end, or your thumbs on the score lines on each end here, and gently fold and push. So you're going to push that cardstock in. So you can see that we're already getting the triangles kind of up. This one's not being as cooperative, but you're going to fold it so that you end up with this little house like this. Okay, so showing you that again. Put your thumbs on the score lines here, push up so that your point comes right to the top, and just push your folds in, and you end up with this little house. You really need to burnish this well, guys. Really burnish it. This is your your folding mechanism. So give that a really good burnish down. Okay. Now the other thing that you might be able to see is that this edge isn't lined up so well. The cardstock is slightly over. So we're just going to trim that off as well, just to make it even. And that's simply done with just your snips. So that is your mechanism. So now what we're going to do is bring your card base back in. Open it up, and along your score line here, this is where I'm going to use a pencil along your fold line, I should say. I know my card is 4 1/8 inches wide, so I need to place a mark halfway. So halfway is 2 1/16. So on your ruler, this is a 2 1/16 mark, and I'm just going to pop a little mark there just under that fold line, because this is where we're going to adhere this piece. So now you really need some good sticky for this, guys. So I highly recommend like a red sticky strip or something similar. And you're just going to pop some strips of that along your house here. And you need to do that on both sides. So bear with me while I pop this down. And on the other side as well. Okay, now you're going to burnish that down again. Super Sticky works best when it's burnished down anyway, to try and help peel that off. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to peel one of those sides off. I love this stuff. It sticks to everything if it wants to come off for me. There we go. Okay, so bring your card base back in. You want to turn this over because that's the side that we've released the sticky on. And you're going to literally line up the tip of your roof here with this mark. Now we don't want your tip of your roof over your fold mark. We want it slightly under that, but that's how you're going to stick it down. So you're literally just going to pop it up where that score mark is, your mark is, and stick that down and rub it down. And then to do the top, it's we're just going to remove the sticky tape. There we go. And you're simply going to fold the top of your card over that and give it a good burnish down. And that's your inside mechanism. So what we need to do now is take our front panels and we need to decorate these, because we're going to decorate these. It's easier to do them while they're not in your card than if it was in your card. Now I'm just using some of our fantastic Festive Birthdays, I think it's called. Designer series paper for this card. So I'm just going to adhere this inside. Now these little pieces, these little squares that go on this strip measure 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm just going to pop these straight down into here. So you can decorate these any way you like. You can stamp on it, you can put designer series paper on it like I'm doing here. I've got this designer series paper for most of my panels. Now this one has a little flaw here which you might be able to see, but that's okay. We got that replaced. It was a bit odd. And I'm just going to pop some balloons which I have stamped and punched earlier from our balloon celebration set, just to cover that mark. I don't want to waste that paper. We're just going to, the colours that I chose are literally the colours from the paper range. So I didn't do anything fancy other than use the colours that are suggested. Now you might notice I'm not popping anything up on the inside of the card, and that's because with the folding mechanism, you don't necessarily want anything too puffy on the inside to make it sit as flat as possible, because it's quite a thick card as it is. I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping on this one. I'm going to use some crushed curry. And I'm using the Confetti Celebration stamp set, which is this stamp set right here. And we're just going to stamp a few of these behind where I'm going to put the number 13. Just to sparkle it up a bit. There we go. And I'm just going to glue the number 13 on here with a bit of our Tombow. Again, I've chosen some Emerald Envy because that's what's in the card pack. The colour, you know, all our colours are listed on the back of your DSP pack. It will have all the coordinating colours listed there for you. So if you're never sure, it's either written in the catalogue or it is actually on the back of your DSP stack. And we're just going to pop that one inside here as well. Down it goes. Okay, now what we need to do for this, now that this is all decorated, is bring this piece back in, and we're going to open it up kind of as much as we can. You can see, even though I marked that mark earlier, there's kind of a score fold mark that ends up on this on your piece of paper here, a bit of a line, and that's okay because we still need to be guided where to put this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just still going to put tiny little mark here because the light with the camera is getting a little bit in the way, so I can't see what I'm doing. So what you need to do with this is now fold it like a gate fold. So we're not firmly folding it, we're just lightly folding it because we need to know where we're going to put our adhesive to stick this down. So if you do a light gate fold and place that middle score line, so this middle score line needs to be at that little mark, and just hold it there for a moment. Now what you're going to do is lightly draw a pencil mark at the side, the top right of this one, up to this score line here. Don't go past the score line, and on the bottom left here, just against the edge of your card pieces here. So then we know where we're going to put our adhesive. So we can remove this for a sec. And we're just going to pop more red sticky strip in this bit. Now you need to make sure that you've got it stuck well, again, because this is your folding mechanism. Okay, so please make sure that you are applying a good amount of adhesive for this, otherwise it's going to fall apart. And it might not straight away, but it might after a little while. So Super Sticky is a fantastic option for this card. And the other side where you've marked as well. Okay, so you're going to remove the adhesive on one side. Just doesn't want to come off for me today at all, does it? That one's not going to come. Fold that bit back a bit because I don't want it to go out and over. Okay, Okay, so remember again, we're just going to line up that center mark and line this up against your orange cardstock, and you can use the same color cardstock if you want when you're making this. I like a different color. And then what you're going to do is fold that piece out and stick that down, guys. Give it a big rub. And then you're going to do exactly the same for this side now. So you're just going to peel this bit off. And I've got a tiny bit of overhang there. Come off. Okay, and then you're just going to stick that one down as well. So that's your mechanism done. Now when you first fold this, you haven't got any weight on the outside either. It may just need a little bit of encouragement to begin with. So you're going to fold this up and over, and it's done. Look at that, up and over, and give that a good press while it's in there, just so that all those lines and folds stay together. Okay, so I'm going to decorate the front now. I've just got a piece of crushed curry card, and that front measures 5 3/8 by 3 5/8 along here. I've just got a piece of designer series paper that is out of that stack again, and this is 5 1/8 by 3 3/8. So we're just going to adhere that to the front of the card. And then all I've done is I've used our Stitched Shapes framelets. If you missed out on these, don't panic. They will be back in the next annual catalogue, which doesn't come out until June 1st, but it will be there. So I'm going to pop this piece on the front here. Just center it up and pop it on, because I think I'm going to pop these bits up on dimensionals. The outside of the card you can pop up a bit. So I'm just going to stamp Time to Party from that Confetti Celebration stamp set. I'm going to do that in Tempting Turquoise. Now let's see. I'm making this as we go, guys, so hopefully this will fit on this square. I haven't really had a good chance to look, so just inking it up. See if I can get this straight around the camera. We're going straight down and straight up. Woohoo! It worked. Of course I had faith it would work. And then we're just going to adhere that piece, to my Emerald Envy piece, just like that. And then I'm just going to pop this one up on some dimensionals, I think. For the front of the card, and I might add some more balloons later to the front of the card. So we're just going to pop that straight in the middle. There we go. And then inside, how cool does that look? So inside I'm going to put another couple of panels here. So I'm going to pop a bit more of that DSP just on some orange background. So these squares, the orange square here measures 3.5 by 3 5/8, which is only 1/8 of an inch difference. So really lay it down, guys, and make sure that you've got it the right direction. If you pop it this way, you'll see it's slightly off. Okay, so the 3 5/8 lies lengthways. So we're going to pop, and this piece is then a 3 1/4 by 3 3/8, so that it fits nicely with a nice border around. And of course you can stamp on that or do whatever you might like on that. And I'm going to put this piece at the top. So just lining it up, although my fast fuse has already decided to stick. Apologies everyone, my video cut out. So what I was saying was I was just stamping Happy Birthday on this white piece. Again, 3 1/4 by 3 3/8 for this white piece to pop on the back of my pumpkin pie piece as well. And that's to go down the bottom here to match the top image. So let's adhere that now. and stick that down. So that's your card completed. So they're fairly simple to make. They're not too difficult, and a little bit of decorating. You know, you can decorate extra panels if you like. You could decorate up here if you like. It's entirely up to you. So that's the card completed, and then you just fold it down, and there's the front. And I'll probably pop maybe an orange balloon or something on the front of that later. But that's that card. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. There's the Christmas one, and this is another one that I made that's just a happy birthday one, using the Blossoms and Blooms paper stack and a bit of stamping. You can see that I've stamped in this one instead. So yeah, they're the cards. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and please feel free to leave a comment below and let me know what you think, and pop over to my blog for all the measurements. Have a nice day. Bye.